Welcome. The following audio podcast presentation outlines some crucial facts about our border region and most of the content we will cover in this amazing course. Let's start by looking at how this border was created. In 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo established the border between the U.S. and Mexico. Article 5 of the treaty defines nearly 95% of our modern border, which stretches around 2,000 miles from San Diego, California to Brownsville, Texas. This treaty resulted in Mexico losing about 55% of its territory, and the U.S. acquired the modern states of Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and California. Along the U.S.-Mexico border, from the Rio Grande to the Pacific Ocean, 276 obelisks mark the boundary established at the end of the Mexican-American War in 1848. Some parts of the border fence in the early 1900s were made of barbed wire. The barbed wire fence was not intended to prevent people from entering. Instead, it was installed to prevent cattle from crossing into the U.S. from Mexico. The U.S. was concerned that these cows carried infectious diseases known as cow fever ticks during that time. Border boundaries are typically man-made and often stem from historical wars and conflicts, yet they function as tangible barriers, such as the one we share with Mexico. Look at this controversial border fence which Mr. Trump constructed in San Isidro by Colonia Libertad in Tijuana. The fence is about 20 feet tall, and the area in the middle is known as no man's land. Interestingly, the Tijuana and San Diego border is currently the world's busiest border crossing. Despite these tall barriers, migrants continue to cross. These borders are only partially effective. In reality, it creates a false sense of security. It is said that as tall as the wall, so tall is the ladder to climb it. On the other hand, in some other parts of the border, the U.S. uses its natural landscape as a barrier in a significant section of the Rio Grande. Two natural barriers shape our southern border: the mighty Rio Grande, which separates Texas from Mexico, and the unforgiving Sonoran Desert, which stretches through parts of Arizona and California. Tragically, crossing these deserts has become a treacherous journey for migrants. Countless lives are lost due to the harsh winter cold and blistering summer heat, leading to tragic deaths from dehydration. The United Nations has even labeled our border as the deadliest border in the world. This border region is profoundly shaped by push and pull factors that drive migration and trade. Economic hardship, violence, and environmental pressures push people out of Mexico and Central America, while economic opportunities, family networks, and safety pull them toward the United States. Unfortunately, the push-pull dynamic often results in humanitarian crises at the border, where migrants face dangerous journeys, exploitation by smugglers, and harsh conditions. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, documented 686 deaths and disappearances of migrants on the U.S.-Mexico border in 2022. Making it the deadliest land route for migrants worldwide on record. The figure represents nearly half of the 1,457 migrant deaths and disappearances recorded throughout the Americas in 2022. The border region continuously expands, and large cities have developed along it due to economic opportunities. Many borders, like the one between Tijuana and San Diego, Mexicali and Calexico, and Juarez and El Paso, are symbiotic. These cities have a strong economic relationship and are often called twin cities. The border corridor spans about 100 miles on each side and is home to approximately 20 million people. Around 500,000 people enter the U.S. from Mexico daily through the southern U.S. border ports of entry. The San Isidro border crossing, which connects Tijuana to San Diego, is the busiest in the world, with about 90,000 northbound crossings daily. Both nations have established national laws through their respective national agencies to address issues related to crime, free trade, education, and the environment. Our borders are now more interconnected than ever, with a specific dynamic relationship between our twin cities. The concept of national integration was established in 1985, and it has nearly been 40 years since both nations have been collaborating to find solutions in areas such as the environment, trade, education, health, and other essential needs. These two nations continue to adapt and update their policies accordingly. The United States does not have an open border policy similar to that of the European Union. We have open binational relations for free trade, but not people. The concept of national power includes territorial control, laws, and cultures, all of which are connected to the idea of sovereignty. This means that we have the right to control and patrol our borders. According to the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, the federal government has allocated more than $409 billion to immigration enforcement agencies since 2003 and billions of dollars for border barriers and infrastructure projects related to immigration. The U.S. border is heavily guarded, with approximately 20,000 border agents patrolling our borders. The number of people arriving at the border skyrocketed in the years since the COVID-19 pandemic, and crossings fell drastically. However, after the removal of Title 42, another influx of migrants into our border region in 2022 caused nationwide concerns. The images we all have seen on the news of how the influx of migrants has overwhelmed border agents and the entire immigration system have deeply resonated with voters, bringing greater attention to this pressing issue. Most Americans, whether on the left or the right, agree that our immigration system is broken. The continuous inflows of migrants challenge border infrastructure and enforcement policies, affecting local communities and creating political debates around immigration reform and border security. The construction of border walls has a significant impact on the environment. The wall not only deters people, but also affects the local flora and fauna. Extensive fencing along the border has disrupted the ecosystem. For example, the border has affected numerous endangered species, such as the Mexican gray wolf and jaguars, particularly in Arizona. The border region is dealing with a major pollution issue. Billions of gallons of sewage flow through a river that runs north from Mexico through California and then empties into the Pacific Ocean. According to public health researchers at San Diego State University, this sewage contains hazardous substances such as arsenic, viruses, bacteria, and parasites. Following September 11th, border security measures were tightened not only at our borders but also in international airports. Various programs and visa options have been implemented in the last decade to facilitate quicker and more efficient legal crossings at the U.S.-Mexico border, thereby reducing wait times. For instance, visas like Sentry or Ready Lane have been introduced to expedite border crossing for pre-approved, low-risk travelers. Although the border region is divided by two different histories, languages, and standards of living, it is a dynamic and ever-evolving space where cultures, economies, and societies adopt and intersect. It is a physical and symbolic boundary, vibrant exchange, adaptation, and transformation zone. Constantly shaped by political policies, migration trends, and global economic shifts, the border region reflects both collaboration and tension between the two nations. The border area is a hub of innovation. For instance, the private sector built the CBX, a binational terminal between San Diego and Tijuana. This terminal makes it easy for travelers to cross into the international airport of Tijuana from San Diego. The people who reside within this binational corridor have developed a unique border identity. Most are referred to as fronterizos, are mostly fully bilingual in English and Spanish, and cross the border daily. For them, crossing the border into the U.S. is just an inconvenient daily routine involving a long wait to get to el otro lado, the other side, as the U.S. is often called. Both sides have created a space unique to those participating in this transnational process, living literally between the two systems. I hope you had fun learning these facts. I can't wait to catch you on our next podcast.